Checking folks, back with another reaction, back with some more Donna Summer, and thank you once again to Scott for providing the Endless Summer compilation. I do hear what a couple of you have said, that some of the versions of songs on this compilation are truncated or, edits compared to the full and longer, or in some cases 12-inch mixes of these songs. So I just have to work with what I have, and of course it's nice to get an exposure to Donna Summer's music after knowing her name for a long time, but without hearing anything, or at least, not knowing I was hearing any of her music. So at some point, perhaps I can come back and listen to longer versions of these songs. But in any case, we'll go through the compilation all the same. And the next one is Heaven Knows. I think I talked about this, it was in a Smiths reaction, that the phrase heaven knows is like a colloquial expression to mean that our human minds can't have a 360-degree or omniscient view of something. So to say heaven knows is to say that, only gods or, people who have some sort of supernatural omniscience could possibly understand or see all the nuances or details of something. So in that regard, and given what I've gotten a sense of the songs she either covers or songs written for Donna, the way they seem to be about emotions and relationships and intimacy and romantic connections or lack thereof, I wouldn't be surprised if this relates to the idea that, will this work out? Only heaven knows, and we'll just have to wait and see. Time will tell, something like that. Of course, I might be completely wrong, so I'll see what I can catch on the first listen. This is Donna Summer from the Endless Summer compilation, and the track is Heaven Knows.
Please don't take your love from me. Please don't take your love from me. I am yours forevermore. Evermore. Till eternity. Oh, silently. So silently. Listen to the words I say. Listen to the words I say. I'm not talking just for play. Just for play. Listen to me, please. Won't you listen to me? Heaven knows it's not the way it should be. Don't get caught with foolish pride. Put all the other things aside. It's only you and me. You and me, you and believe in us. Believe in us. We were always meant to be. Always meant to be. For you and you for me. You for me. Till eternity. Heaven knows it's not the way it should be. Heaven knows it's not
vocals on this one, certainly from Donna, but also the male singer too. I'm obviously curious who that is, and it's almost like call and response, and yet the response is just an echoing of her sentiment. And what I gather from the lyrics is that this is a relationship that's by implication maybe not in the right place or in danger of falling apart, but it sounds like both of them feel like they need to be together and that this isn't the way it should be or could be, and they're both professing their dedication and devotion and commitment to being with each other into eternity and not wanting the other person to leave. So it sounds like things are in a complicated way, but they both have the resolve and the affection and affinity for the other to find a way to click it back into gear and to bring it into a harmonious state. So yes, and it's funny because, the expression heaven knows, I was thinking about it more in terms of like, well, we don't know, but another way it's used is like, well, heaven knows this is the case. You're actually asserting that your human brain does know, but in a way that suggests those who might have some supernatural, omniscient overhead view, that they would know the reality, that, human brains might get lost in the weeds sometime and not be able to see everything as it is. But the phrase thus indicates that, heaven knows this is the way it really is or indeed should be. So I feel like that's the essence of the title phrase in this case. But yeah, so again, it sounds like a sentiment where they're aware of the peril, they're aware that things might be disconnecting or sliding away from the groove that their relationship and their emotions should be, but they're both saying, hey, this is what I want, and the other person saying, hey, this is what I want too. So in that regard, it feels like we're probably going to get a happy ending here, although it's still up in the air in terms of the snapshot in time that we're getting. Sonically, I love it. It's, the type of disco where we've got some string flourishes, and I love that quick, like, triple flourish that we get. Obviously, there's a great horn solo in the back half of the tune, so I enjoy that as well. And yeah, it just makes you want to dance. It's just got that groove to it. So again, disco is a genre that I was aware of from the time I was a kid, and as someone who eventually got into like danceable synth pop music as a single digit kid, and then rave like techno and trance as a teenager in the 90s, I suppose I was always disposed to enjoy disco, but it's never a genre that I listened to more seriously until recent times. And it's enjoyable to, listen to the queen of disco, someone who's as famous as anyone from what I can tell or within that genre. So yes, I enjoy this one. It feels like this is a shorter track. I want to say like 3 minutes, about 3.5. So yeah, definitely not like a 12-inch mix. And again, maybe this is another one where there's a longer version that she initially recorded, and this is a sort of, cut down, fade out ending version of it. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Looking forward to more. Once again, shout out to Scott. And as I've said from the beginning of this deep dive, we have a live Donna album or, compilation awaiting us as well. So yes, let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.